So I want to couple this with the video I made earlier today and some trends that I've been looking at to kind of get an idea of where we are now since Dogecoin has been absolutely blowing through previous points of resistance and where we are now and where the reason we keep getting these this kind of like bounce back here off of around the 12 cent. If we're looking at the comparison between Doge and Bitcoin, at around the 197 mark, which is where we are now, that's typically since the what is this earlier? I'll say since January, that's been the peak correlation between those two. Now, if we're looking at the points of interest here, and not even saying that, okay, we may potentially have a cross here, which would be send us into the stratosphere. This would mean that the next point of rejection here would be if we are able to break above this, close above this 197 mark, would be somewhere around 216, right? And this would propel Dogecoin to be above the 72 day. Now, if we're able to maintain that, what we're going to see, which is what we're seeing now, is a curve in the 14-day, and then we'll be looking at a 1472 cross between the Dogecoin and Bitcoin comparison, and that will that pretty much would signal the bull run here. That will be like all bets are off. This thing is going to like the absolute heaven. So where we are right now is very important here. It doesn't a discount as far as for the movement to like 12 and 16 cent, but if we're able to hold these levels, especially where we are now, the fact that we have the 72 that has been curving down toward, because we've seen the cross here last time, this indicated that the 14 crossing 72, technically that's the death cross, that indicated that we're entering a period of bearishness. So what we have now as an advantage is the 72 has been coming down, and with this violent uptick, we have a potential for the 14 to cross 72 and signal the uptrend, in which you can kind of see this has happened several times here. Even when they were far apart, you were able to see the movement and the correlations. And this obviously has been the bear market crosses. So I can only imagine what this will look like on the spectrum here to say, okay, this could be signaling the absolute bottom here. And then we'll be seeing crosses and divergences, convergences as we are climbing to higher points. So that is a very, very important measuring stick to keep in mind when we are looking forward to a few different things. I want to point out, go to coin market cap here. So if you take a look here at coin market cap, Doge has climbed to number 9. This is why I was saying that number 11 stuff, and people were panicking. Oh, it's not the top 10. That doesn't matter. That's not constructive as far as where the movement of the coin is actually going. And then, of course, it always is a switch up. And now Doge has jumped 2 spaces with a little over 3.6 billion in volume in the last 24 hours, a total of 16 billion now. Market cap 37% on the 7-day, 17% on the 24, and 0.64 on the hour. And that's it. And this is not even Doge at its peak. So even if you look at the comparison between Doge and like Avalanche here, absolutely destroying it. Even Cardano, Doge is absolutely destroying it. USDC, XRP, Solana, BNB, Tether, Ethereum, even Bitcoin. Dogecoin has had the most, percentage wise, Dogecoin has had the most violent uptick in the top 10. These other coins are just sitting on a lot of cash. That's why they're holding those positions, because the gap is so big. But as far as for percentage of return, Doge is the clear winner here. So don't get that twisted with just marketplace and saying, oh well, it's not it's at number 10 and compare it to number 6 and stuff. Look at the percentage of return here. This is why those bottom points as far as like resistance and liquidity pools, this is why those levels are so strong, because of the return that Doge offers. No coin has been able to offer that in this market here. So I'm going to switch back to the charts, and we're going to cover one more thing. Let's take a look here at shorts before we get into the charts really quick, because I want to. Oh, that's not shorts. I was about to say that would be scary if that short candle was doing something like that. So shorts, 85% on the day. So from this morning, the shorts have doubled. It's in their position. But again, nothing compared to what we've previously seen here. So there's still a very little blip down here on the radar. So nothing as because the 85%, sometimes that number can scare you. But until we start seeing some really big candles here, it's nothing to be concerned about, especially when you're increasing your market cap by 3 billion in a day. So something to keep an eye on. But as of right now, it's not the end of the world. Price action, what I was saying, if you didn't watch the first video, go back. It'll have a little bit more in-depth details. I'm not going to get that far into it in this video, but this is what I mean as far as so closing in this range and seeing where this candle is going to actually close out. Anything, I mean, even in this zone, it will still be absolutely amazing. But as far as if we close out of this zone, like in the 618 and above this zone here, this is the zone that propels us to the 16 cents. So even if we're able to close up here at the negative on 618, this is going to be absolutely incredible. But if we close here, that is fantastic. And what that's going to do is if we start getting a couple candles here, I'll probably call it if we get like 3 candles to close up here. But what we're going to do is this will move this trend line up, because right now this is where the trend line is. Right. And this is going to determine. So technically speaking, that tomorrow we can have a correction back down here, go up, down, up, down. Now this is still an upward trend, but you see how far the trend line is down compared to the current price action. So if we're able to close some candles at a higher point, what that means is the new trend line will be, this is just for example, so, but can be something like this. And now what you've established is a higher high and a much more aggressive price action, a trend pattern actually. So this is just for example here. Don't quote me on this, but you guys get the point. So that's what we're looking for, is to kind of establish this so we can kind of get an idea of time frames and patterns and all that kind of stuff for price action to see where we're going to land at once we get that new pattern. But as of right now, that pattern has not revealed itself to us. So it's something we're going to have to kind of keep track of over the next few weeks, or the next few days, really. I say maybe 3-4 days, we'll be able to kind of call the next trend pattern. And it could not be that dramatic. It could be, let's say here, right? Still a much more aggressive uptrend than where we are now. But, like I said, that is to be determined. And I don't want to put any hopium out there until we kind of get some concrete facts. So that being said, I wanted to provide that update, let you guys know the correlation between Doge and Bitcoin is absolutely shrinking, and we're about to hit some pivotal points, and that's going to signal a major, major run. And we may have to even move some of the projections and stuff that we've looked at up. So I'll be reporting on it. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you want to keep track of it, and I will see you guys in the next update.